that we talked about Clopton here briefly. She has not allowed an extra base hit this year.
It's a very good stat. Good job, Randy.
Somebody woke him up. It's our last game together this year.
Yeah, last game, Lynn. Let's make it a good one.
Indeed, have some fun. Now, for those of you who may not understand that statement, do not panic, because every game will be available on some platform of ESPN. So those of you who tune in every game to watch LSU softball, nothing will change.
King is 9 of 11 with stolen bases. Let's see if Coach will try to be very aggressive here tonight.
She and Gilio lead the team with 11. Furr is hitting .292. Tries to get the bunt down and slices it foul.
Louisiana Tech played the Cajuns last night in Ruston. They avenged their earlier season loss. 2-1.
This Louisiana Tech team is 24-15 on the year. Let's see if that stays foul. It does. Let's check LSU defensively. Coffey and Edwards on the corners. Hodge and McKee are the middle infielders. Lassiter is flanked by Leno in left field and Ruderty in right field. And Bergeron, the junior, is behind the plate.
And except for in the circle, that lineup has about been put to competition about 90% of the time this year.
We've seen some switching at second base, but certainly the outfielders have been pretty constant for the entire year.
You're right. Second is the most position that's been juggled around.
Coffey on the backhand side watches it roll foul. Ellis about just moments ago.
Just devastating for a lefty slapper, just running through that pitch, and it's coming in, you know, about 12 miles slower than anything else she's thrown, and they just are completely fooled by it.
First baseman number 23, Reagan Marchand.
Here's Reagan Marchand, and there's some heat on the inner half of the plate.
Everything is in the middle 60s. Amazing that Kristen Schmidt was the MVP of the College World Series, throwing 58 miles an hour.
The runner is on the move and easily beats the throw from Bergeron. Good speed by Hang. That's her 12th stolen base as she puts herself in scoring position.
We thought maybe she'd run.
You know, we've got a change in the lineup because we've got a new catcher.
Well, they flipped who was going to be the DP and the receiver at the plate also from that angle. She not going to challenge this? Nope. Louisiana Tech goes ahead.
So a fielder's choice and the RBI. That play was at the plate.
It's a heck of a slide.
It was, because the ball was in the glove of Phillips before the runner approached the plate.
I thought she was a dead duck at home, but she flew by the tag.
So Louisiana Tech takes a 1-0 lead on a base hit, a stolen base. We'll check to see if they rule that a wild pitch or a pass ball.
That just shows
If they showed it a wild pitch, they've kept that. But just one base hit of it, and here's Louisiana Tech on the scoreboard.
That just shows you the speed of Hing, though, because Edwards made a very strong throw to home.
Is done. First half of the 7 in this batting order, hitting 300 or above, and 3 batting 400 or better. Danica Coffey leads it off. She's at third base. Jalen Lassiter in the series against Alabama had a homer, drove in 4. She was 4 for 10. Macy Bergeron is batting third. She is the DP. The first baseman is Glory Torrey Edwards. Mackenzie Rudity, ever so solid in the middle of that lineup for years, is the right fielder. Jaden Leno is the left fielder. Maddox McKee at second base. Jada Phillips is catching and hitting eighth. And Avery Hodge is the shortstop batting ninth. And it's Allie Floyd, the big right-hander in the circle for Louisiana Tech. And she has had a pretty good year, Yvette. 17 wins, 7 losses.
We're going to see a rise, a drop, and a change. She really works up and down well, which you don't see too many pitchers do.
She is the go-to pitcher for Louisiana Tech.
She is the workhorse.
They will stay with her as long as this game is competitive. Louisiana Tech would love to get a victory over nationally ranked LSU tonight in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, they'll fly out of here and go on to Miami for a series with FIU for the weekend.
They have a 5 a.m. flight from New Orleans tomorrow.
Ooh, hope they stay in New Orleans tonight.
I think they're staying here.
That means a wake-up call at about 2.
You remember those days when you were young and indefatigable, and you just stayed up.
Indefatigable.
You just stayed up.
Never.
No sense going to sleep for 2 hours. Easily had that one. Let's check this lineup defensively. It's Hang and Gillio and Rogers in the outfield. Rayleigh and Hamoudi on the left side of the infield. Briley and Marchand on the right side. Glover is catching. Floyd is pitching on a beautiful evening in Baton Rouge.
Just absolutely gorgeous. You're right, Lynn.
Here's Bergeron with 1 out, a runner at first. The transformation offensively for Bergeron this year from her previous 2 years has been remarkable.
Off the charts. And you talked to her dad, and he said that they worked very hard this summer to improve her game. And wow, has it ever paid off.
Let's look at her numbers in the first couple of seasons, hitting .239 with 5 homers, 27 driven in. And look at the numbers this year. .406, 8 homers already, 38 driven in. She has blossomed at the plate. So one smash sister has given LSU the lead. The second smash sister is at the plate in Glory Torrey Edwards.
So we asked Beth Torino who could hit 10 home runs on this team before the season began. How many does Bergeron have now?
She's got 9.
And how many does her sister have right here?
That would be 14 home runs for Edwards, one of the league leaders as well.
So she has surpassed that 10 that Beth Torino predicted. This game of ours has truly turned into an offensive game now.
You know, Yvette, when I look briefly at Bergeron in the batter's box and then Edwards in the batter's box, they have similar stances. They are very close together with their feet, a little bit pigeon-toed.
You're right. I hadn't noticed that with Edwards. I noticed it really right away with Bergeron. And there's someone else on the team that's very close like that. But I hadn't realized that Edwards was that close. And they don't have much of a kick or anything like that for timing.
No, those hips rotate and generate a lot of power.
They are just generating everything from the ground.
The 2-2 pitch. Dribbled foul at the plate. Edwards, for the last 2 seasons, has led the Tigers in the offseason weight program. She has deadlifted 405 pounds in each of the last 2 years.
Maybe you, Randy, and I could do that together? Combined?
I doubt it. She stays off the high pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 in on a mighty blast by Bergeron. Glover has only caught 2 of 19 now, so they've had some success running. Opposing base runners have against Glover. Leno with an RBI opportunity, about a 2-1 count with 2 outs. The pitch in on the fists, and a good delivery that time by Floyd to level the count at 2.
Renault has 13 RBIs on the year. Tori Edwards with 56. With how many weeks left in the season? That's amazing.
It really is.
Hitter. So that was kind of a self-defense swing. We haven't seen Jada play very much, but he's got a lot of promise.
She's a freshman from Bradenton, Florida. And this will be uncatchable in foul ground. There is activity in the bullpen for Louisiana Tech. A couple of right-handers getting ready. And take that step toward the playing field, and that ball inches away from you. It makes it very, very difficult to make contact.
Well, there's no bat left to hit the ball.
Right. Here's Rogers. She is the smallest player on the field at 5 feet 1 inch. Chokes up a little bit, slightly split grip. That's a foul ball.
Had a 4'11" shortstop one time. She was a heck of a shortstop.
4'11".
So, so close to the ground.
Well named. Shortstop.
Oh, good one.
I mean, that's gymnast size.
Registered nurse now.
One out. Both teams scored in the first inning. Louisiana Tech with Hang singling and eventually scoring on a fielder's choice by Marchand. And then a 2-run home run by Bergeron, a 2-run double by McKee in the bottom of the inning. And the Tigers, after 1, have a 3-run lead.
Clopton using both sides of the plate. She did a screwball in the outside corner, and she just came.
Clopton.
She went out, in, and way too much in and up. Thank goodness for the helmets. You know, there was a time when we didn't wear them.
Right. That one looked like it got a piece of the ear flap to me.
It almost looked like it hit her shoulder, too, at first.
Well, here's Glover. She's a little bit tardy on the swing. Glover batting .244. She's been a part-time starter. This is her 20th start. 10 base hits. 3 of those 10 have been home runs, Yvette. And those 3 home runs are her only extra base hits. So she's got 7 singles and 3 homers among her 10 hits. There's that floater again, and a little too much hump in it.
Got to trust it. Let it go.
1 run, 1 hit, no errors for Louisiana Tech. 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors for LSU.
You also got to disguise that pitch with a changeup. If you grunt on other pitches, you got to grunt on the changeup too.
LSU territory by Hang for out number 1. But Hodge and Bergeron for years have been very close friends on and off the field.
Buster has 15 appearances, which is 2-2. 2 games started, 1 completed game. So she's come on a lot in relief, obviously.
The center fielder and the left fielder, Gillio and Hang respectively. Well, not very often at all.
Just remind me, I need some coffee. Got to stop on the way home.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to make you some between innings.
Thank you, Danica.
Here's Lassiter, who had a base hit and scored on the home run by Bergeron. That base hit by Lassiter was her 44th of the year. That's 3rd on the team, I bet. It's amazing that 44 hits is only third. Coffee leads with 51. Edwards has 49.
This offense has been fun to watch.
Well, it's hitting over 360 as a team. That's second best in the SEC.
Oh, that's a good check.
But the road literally gets much more difficult for LSU in the next couple of weekends at Texas A&M and at Texas.
Absolutely. That's
the third walk issued between Floyd and Buster. And here is Macy Bergeron, who hit one way up on the berm in left field last time with Lassiter aboard. 9 homers now, 40 driven in. You know, the Smash Sisters between them have 96 RBI now.
I mean, you've got people protecting people, hitters protecting hitters. And to think she was sitting on the bench last year because freak accident.
Talking about Tori Edwards, who leads the team with 56 driven in, leads the team with 14 home runs, and also is second on the team coming into this game with a .434 average.
Coffey's bat and Edwards' power out of the lineup last year. The Tigers were 1 game away from
leads Louisiana Tech 4-1.
Good job so far.
Indeed she has.
Worked ahead. That's the secret to pitching.
And she hasn't walked anybody, and that was a bit of a problem coming into the game.
She hit somebody. she got her money's worth there.
But then the Tigers turned a 4-6-3 double play.
How about that? I'm still in awe of the double plays turned in this game now. You might have turned 5 in a year before.
Well, we've talked about the advancement, and it's been rapid, in the offensive skills of a lot of players. But Yvette, I think perhaps overlooked is the advancement of the defensive skills as well. Diving catches, leaping catches are frequent in the outfield. Acrobatic plays
we always had
those.
We always had those plays in the outfield. The double plays between the middle infielders are just, it was unheard of in our game. It's almost like a baseball strategy now because we can turn them. I don't know if it's a combination of better coaching. There's more coaches on a staff now. There could be somebody dedicated just to defense. The balls are being hit harder. The transition, maybe the athletes are a little quicker in their no question, they're quicker in their transition.
Riley waiting for the 1-2 pitch. That one's wasted wide. I'll bet when you started, it was you and a bucket to sit on during practice.
You're about right. You're about right. I had a friend that helped me that she was a teacher, and she just kind of left school a little early sometimes because she could sneak away. And she was my assistant. Of course, she didn't get paid.
Clopton is one of the few pitchers these days who does not wear a mask.
You're right, Lynn. Hadn't picked that up. That's because she's a double red shirt, so, she's probably like the grandma of the team here. And that age group maybe came through the game without wearing the mask. Just about everybody now, they grew up.
Well, in youth leagues, it's mandatory. And that's a good idea.
Yeah, I guess if I had had to pay for dental work, I would think the same thing.
In front of her, and collects a base hit after striking out earlier. So now the tying run comes to the plate in the person of Reagan Marchand. Runners on the corners. And a high fly ball lifted into foul ground left side, and nobody can get to it. as it descends into the bullpen
You know, Lynn,
for the Bulldogs.
you made a comment that Leno was positioned correctly. That's another factor in the double plays being turned. The middle infielders are positioned correctly because all these games are on TV now. And before LSU plays Louisiana Tech, they may have watched video 100 times between all the coaches. So they know exactly where to play each position. You know, as I've said before, our scouting report might have been from a box score. Or we called a coach that we were friends with and they could get us some kind of information. But that has a lot to do with it too. They knew exactly where these hitters are going to place the ball.
There's that changeup. It floats in the upper part of the zone. And there are numbers today calculated for everything.
Oh, it's as I said, they have a PhD in mathematics in the dugout as a coach.
Short in the first.
That bat sounded like it was broken when she hit it. And those aluminum bats do break.
But the balls that come off the bat when she swings and Bergeron swings and a couple of others in this lineup, but those are the main two, they just sound different, don't they?
If I was still coaching third, I'd be in the bullpen over there on the left field line. Make sure I didn't get hit.
That would not be a bad idea. Here's Ruderty. She flied out to her counterpart in the first. Madison, Mattison, Buster, in relief of Allie Floyd, who pitched the first inning. Buster came on to pitch the second. And she remains in the game here in the third. Leno is on deck.
As we said, Buster, that's a great pitch right there. She's going to try to keep the ball down. She wants to live in the knees. Trying to jam her again inside. Just missed, though.
Second baseman number 2.
Louisiana Tech has a couple of hitting streaks going. Allie Furr has now hit safely in 5 games. She's 1 for 2 tonight.
This year, the Cajuns took the game in Lafayette. Bulldogs took the game in Ruston.
Here's the 2-0 pitch to McKee, one of the heroes offensively, with a 2-run double.
That screwball is just a tad off the plate.
You know,
Half a ball.
up in Ruston, in that Louisiana Tech sports complex, the softball field and the baseball field aren't far apart.
Across the street, right?
And it's 2 of the finest facilities in Conference USA, back to back.
Well, was baseball demolished in that tornado also?
Indeed.
Okay,
yes.
so they both got brand new facilities.
But they love their diamond sports in that part of the state.
Is baseball all turf like softball? Not sure.
You know, I've seen the turf 1,000 times.
Cutoff person to throw it to. You cannot throw the girl out at third. Throw the ball to the shortstop so the runner at first doesn't go to second.
So Edwards moves to third.
Can't help myself, Lynn. Still got a little bit of coaching.
Well, we're here to instruct and educate, right?
Yeah, especially if little girls are watching. So far, Buster has done her job.
Yes, she has.
She gets out of this inning.
Savannah Bedell is going to bat here.
And she has been red hot.
This is sliced off and twisting away. It drops in foul ground.
That pitch clock was down to 0 when she let it go. We hadn't had that violation since probably the first week of the season.
Right. Beth Torino looking on.
Kind of noticed she was taking a little bit.
Doesn't match up.
Absolutely. And the LSU Tigers take their Texas road swing with them. First it's A&M and then Texas.
We are in Tiger Park tonight. Hall of Fame coach Yvette Girard, Lynn Rollins with you. All of the scoring came in the first inning. Claire Rayleigh is at the plate against LSU's Tatum Clopton. Rayleigh popped up to the shortstop Hodge last time. Gillio is on deck. And then Rogers. Jada Face. Rayleigh has sent a fly ball to Hodge at shortstop.
Center fielder number 24, Alexis Gilliam.
Here's Gillio, who struck out in the second. Clopton has recorded 3 strikeouts. She's walked 1 and hit a batter. Louisiana Tech has been limited to a pair of base hits. They've both been singles. That's a scrappy bunch down there in the third base dugout. And Rogers comes to the plate. She was hit in the head by a pitch last time. This young lady out of Surprise, Arizona.
Bulldogs surpassed 300 hits for the season after collecting 6 in the series final against Jackson State on Sunday.
Yvette, I don't know if Louisiana Tech will send a base runner trailing by 3 in the 4th, but Gillio has only been caught once in 12 times, so she is 11 for 12 on the base paths. That's a strike. There's warm-up activity in the LSU bullpen. I think everybody in the ballpark knew that that was not the right choice.
Yeah, I was like, no. The runner's way past you. I mean, she had no shot.
So that'll be a fielder's choice, 2 aboard.
She was saying, I'm just trying to be aggressive.
Addison Snyder has grabbed the bat, and she's going to pinch hit. Snyder for Glover. Strike 1.
And Clopton's got to forget that just happened. Short-term memory. Concentrate on this hitter. Good first pitch.
By the way, Snyder, who did not start tonight, has hit safely in 6 consecutive games.
Oh.
That was that flutter pitch.
She pulled a string on that puppy.
With a little bit of emotion, pumping that wrist after getting the call third strike.
Well, if I was a pitcher, that's the pitch I would want to strike everybody out on. Big rise balls, you know, they're exploding. Can't catch up to it, but this changeup just makes you look silly.
Clopton comes back with the heat and finds the strike zone on Briley. That replay showed that LSU and Clopton might have caught a break. That pitch looked a little bit low and away, but certainly close enough to swing at with 2 strikes.
Here it is again. She's trying to getting a lot more confidence. Beth Torina calling that pitch a lot more. That written in my notes when I came to early season practice. Heck of a changeup.
Your notes were accurate. And you know what else she's done? She was 9 for 9 at one point in first pitch strikes. She's tailed off a little bit, but not by much. 16 of her 18 first pitches have been strikes. That's magnificent.
Magnificent. I'll always say, Lynn, the most fun game you and I call was Mary Beth Gorsuch throwing 21.
Hand on it, but doesn't have anything to show for it.
Yep, you can't hit it any better, but she hit it right at him.
So here is Lassiter now, who has been on base twice and scored once. She singled in the first and scored and walked in the second. Jayla Lassiter.
So Coffey's 0 for 3 right now, right?
Which is very rare.
Oh, we don't say that too often, not this year.
Buster has done an excellent job in relief. She came on in the second inning.
And Tech has played flawlessly defensively.
Two outs. And Yvette, I am requesting of you and our audience, quite honestly, as we go to the next inning, just a moment of personal privilege for something that was very special to a lot of us here at the ballpark last Friday. We will get to that later. There's a strike. Here's the 2-2 to Lasso. Hang after first pitch swinging is 1 for 3.
Designated player number 12, Allie.
And here's the designated player, Allie Furr, who's 1 for 2. Statistically, Clopton had walked more batters than she would have liked coming into this game, but Yvette, her control today, she has really shown no visible signs of rust.
She's been on top of her game, as you said, hadn't thrown very much. But, you know, Lynn, we talked about the umpires a while ago, but I want to pass our condolences on to the Gary Mitchell family. He's a longtime umpire and a high school teacher in Watson at Live Oak High School, and he lost his battle to cancer. So just a good man, good umpire, and we want his family to know that we're thinking about them tonight.
Well said. Marchand is on deck, 1 out. Furr at the plate. And Clopton wants time.
Let's get on the same page. We're a little confused.
One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Louisiana Tech batting in the 5th. Louisiana Tech has 3 singles in this game. Hang and Furr have 1 each. That pitch is tight. The only other base hit was from Gillio, batting down in the 6th position. She's 1 for 2.
Edwards probably couldn't pick the ball up out of her hand. It was so close and so fast.
And right now, she's got a case of the poking grits. That's McKee. You can see, you know what the poking grits are, right?
I have no idea.
Really?
No.
You've never heard that, the poking grits.
That's you a country boy.
That's when you poke that jaw out because you're mad at yourself and you grind your teeth. That's a case of the poking grits.
I just call that boudin.
Same principle. You grit your teeth and poke that jaw out.
Yeah,
the poking grits.
I guess that's accurate. You know, you got to show that defensive player the ball when you're throwing it to him, and I don't think Edwards could pick it up.
That's ruled a check swing in the batter's favor.
Palms down means she did not offer.
10 homers for this young lady. So she certainly is capable. On a night which the wind, unlike recent days, is really no factor. Just a lazy breeze from right to left. There it is.
You know, we had a reason to kind of like try and fix our hair today for about 2 weeks.
He speaks in a language that we can't understand, and his motor skills are limited. When Yvette Girard learned about Braxton, she immediately approached LSU about a special night for this special young man. Bless Mary Wood for orchestrating the event. Bless the LSU players and coaches for making Braxton feel at home. Bless Danica Coffey for wheeling Braxton around the bases after the game. And bless the near-capacity crowd for a long and loud standing ovation when he was able to toss the first pitch. It was a good night, and Yvette, it was what sports does best.
And bless Lynn Rollins.
Thank you. There's Braxton. That is a yell of joy, the excitement that he expressed. I've talked to his parents since then. They live 5 hours away in southern Arkansas. And just a special moment, one that none of us will forget, and it certainly made an impression on the LSU players as well.
And he loves to hear Lynn say you can pucker up and kiss him goodbye.
He's heard it once tonight.
And he has his own T-shirt from Lynn that says that.
Very well in relief. Walks Bergeron, and now here is Tori Edwards. We spoke earlier about her record-setting 405-pound deadlift. She's done it 2 years in a row. LSU has had only 4 hits. Louisiana Tech one less than that.
Bulldogs have 5 pitchers on staff, and we've seen, what, 3 so far? Maybe it's going to be a pitch by committee tonight.
Here's Glory Tori. After the walk to Bergeron, Samaya Jones is running for Bergeron at first base. So Jones is the pinch runner. And Snyder, Addison Snyder, the freshman, has gone behind the plate for Glover.
And Blue said, that's on me. Let's go restart. He wasn't quite ready.
So the pitch to Edwards from Martin. Burns the outside edge. Pretty good delivery to a very fine hitter. 439 is her average. 14 home runs, 56 driven in. And Yvette right now, she's the Triple Crown leader for the Tigers offensively. Just a few percentage points in average ahead of Coffey.
And the Tigers get to watch her 3 more years. The redshirt freshman. Freak injury to her toe coming out of the dugout last year.
The 1-1 pitch. That's a changeup, but it misses. I really enjoy how the changeup has become such a dynamite pitch. But Jones was off with the pitch and gets the stolen base.
Are we going to have a challenge here to see if she left early? Because coach is out there.
I think that's what it's going to be. This is our first challenge of the game.
I was just about to say, we hadn't had any.
La Tech is challenging the runner left early before the pitch at first.
So we will
Players now under review.
we will get the review in the challenge booth, which is adjacent to the LSU dugout.
I'm thinking she did not leave early.
No, I don't think so either.
Guess it's worth a look, though. If you guess you've got 2, you don't want to go home with 2.
You can't take them to Miami, can you?
Mm-mm. This should be like 2 minutes.
Or less. Jones is looking to remain unbeaten, so to speak, on the base paths. If this play stands up, she would be 4 for 4 in stolen bases, and I certainly think it will.
LSU has speed, and more speed, and it just keeps coming out at you in waves.
This should not take long, and it apparently has not.
Lynn, there was a review the other night that was 25 minutes.
Wow.
And the coach was ejected after. And that was Florida.
After further review, the runner did not leave early.
Look at that.
LSU has not been caught on the base paths tonight, 3 for 3. Pretty much on pace a bit, don't you think, to match last year's 61?
Yeah, and I actually thought the Tigers were going to run more this year with
I did
all
too.
this speed.
She'll got a couple of warm-up tosses just to get the feeling back. But Samaya Jones never checked up. She was running from second base all the way and scored easily.
She's a senior.
Throwing in the mid-60s.
Probably thinking to herself, I won't miss those after this year.
No.
Getting hit in the foot.
Rudity has just moved into second place behind Edwards in runs batted in this year.
I mean, you look up and down this lineup. Tigers are producing.
Let me redo the numbers. She's moved into third place. But you're right.
Who's in second? Bergeron?
It is Bergeron, yes. So it's Edwards, Bergeron, and now Rudity. And by the way, they bat in back-to-back in the order. Bergeron, Edwards, Rudity.
And it's like pick your poison throughout the lineup. Who are you going to pitch to in this lineup? They're all producing.
You've got a 372 hitter batting ninth. That's Hodges, or Hodge. Here's Leno. Jaden at 368 coming into the game has walked and fouled out. She slams that one foul.
Got Taylor Pleasance on her toes over there. Of course, Taylor Pleasance, everybody knows who she is in this program. Playing for Team USA now. Phenomenal Inspector Gadget defensive player.
And Rudity.
Not
LSU 5, Louisiana Tech 1. Jada Phillips making a rare start tonight. This is only her second at bat. She struck out in the first. Bedell pinch hit for her later, and Phillips will try to get aboard here. She's 0 for 1. On and takes a 5-1 lead into the 6th inning.
Was a coach before she was hired on to LSU. And if Beth Torino wins this game tonight, Lynn, this will be her 700 career win at combining both schools.
Boy, that rolls off the tongue rather easily, but such a magnificent
yeah, that's
achievement.
a lot. That's a lot of lineup cards.
For number 700 in her career tonight. Claire Rayleigh. Hodge. Avery Hodge is such a different shortstop physically than Taylor Pleasance, but the results are the same.
Absolutely. Just got that quick release that's got a gun behind it. Gets rid of the ball quick, and it's got a very strong arm to go with that quick release. Still not a lot of hits in this game.
Louisiana Tech only with 3 singles, and Gillio has 1 of them.
And Clopton says, I got more of those changeups where they came from. She's feeling it. She's smiling. She's having a good time.
Clopton had made 3 previous starts with 2 complete games.
First time we see Sierra Daniels tonight.
She's a sophomore from Chandler, Arizona. Ball 1.
And again, treading out another lefty.
Hitting .355, a couple of homers.
Got a closed stance too, Lynn. Gonna have to see how many of these Tiger hitters are like that.
One of the differences, Yvette, as you well know, between this Tiger team and the last 2 or 3 has been the abundance of prolific hitters on the bench. The choices are much greater this year going to the bench and providing quality at bats.
Yes, I totally agree. Quality coming off the bench.
And here's
and somebody there to cut. Where was the shortstop? At second base, I guess.
Well, here's Coffey, one of the rare times late in the game that she does not have a base hit. Last time she lashed a liner to center. It was caught by Gillio. That's a pitch in the upper part of the strike zone. Daniel at third. They're going to rule that a hit and an error. So an infield hit and then a misplay on the infield. Sierra Daniel at third base. Two balls, 2 strikes on Danica Coffey. Yvette, we've said it nearly every game, and it still rings true, even though Coffey is 0 for 3 tonight.
Tech really not being able to stop the running game of the Tigers tonight. And this is kind of how I thought the Tigers would be offensively, stealing a lot of bases. Now, a base hit here scores 2 RBIs.
Lassiter has that split grip. There's about an inch between her hands on the handle of that bat. That takes away a little bit of power, but it does allow more bat speed and control sometimes. You'll get a good look at it right here. The batting glove on the left hand.
Look at that tiger wrap on that bat.
And look at the distance between her hands. Yvette, has softball adopted the torpedo bat yet?
No, not that I know of, but no. It's funny that it took, you would have thought it would have shown up before now.
Toward the middle of the bat where most of the contact is instead of at the very end. And so where you are most likely to strike the ball on the bat, you've got the most wood there in Major League Baseball.
That's just
or
kind
metal.
of common sense.
Yeah,
huh?
so.
Why didn't we think of that?
I don't know.
God, Post-it notes, torpedo bat.
I know.
Why can't we think of those
Pet
things?
rocks.
Why can't we think of those things? Pet rocks. That might be the best one. Cabbage Patch.
Louisiana Tech trailing 5-1. LSU in the 6th, trying to get some more.
You eat alligator? You didn't get it. I
No,
had to
no,
look at you.
it took me
I
a
had
second.
to look at you and help
It
you.
took me a second. I've eaten it a lot of ways, and I was trying to think, well, how could you do it in a crock pot? And it never.
It would make it tender, I guess. I mean, rat on a Cheeto, I can say crock pot.
Oh no, I like it. I like it a lot. Here's one of the Smash sisters. The other one is on deck in Tori Edwards. Bergeron is homered, grounded out, and walked. Bergeron has been remarkable a bit with the bases loaded this year. 6 times she's been at the plate. 5 times she's had a hit.
Yeah. She doesn't get herself out. She does not swing at bad pitches.
And she's driven in 11 runs in those opportunities.
The Tech staff is running into a little bit of problems here pitching. They've been pretty good tonight.
Let me put it real simply. Bergeron is 5 for 6 with the bases loaded.
I mean, we just keep talking about how she's exploded since her freshman year.
I had a chance to talk to her a little bit toward the end of last week after the game and was asking her, because she comes from Rain and a lot of sports people over there, I asked her if she liked to hunt and fish. She said, yeah. She likes to fish, freshwater fish. She likes to deer hunt.
I can see that.
The 3-1 pitch. That's a good pitch, and it brings the count to 3-2. Nobody out, bases loaded. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Bergeron.
It's off the bat.
Yes, you do.
But the outfielder has no chance.
But she is so strong that even when she mishits one, she's got an opportunity.
And she drove in a run, still productive.
Here is Tori Edwards, still only 1 out. Runners at second and is able to lift one out of the ballpark. This game is over.
And players usually, chide the hitter that just swing and say, get in the weight room. Could you imagine if they told that to Tori Edwards, get in the weight room?
The outfield is very deep. That's a good pitch. Had a little smoke on it on the outside part of the plate. Martin in relief of Buster, who was in relief of the starter Floyd, who pitched.